Death. I'm going to ask you a question for all of you out there. Of the people that are out there today on earth, how many of us are going to die? I heard you say it. That's right. All of us. 100% of the people on earth today are going to die. Now, I've been in the funeral business for 20 plus years in some capacity. I started out driving. Now I'm working my way to be a funeral director. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about traditional services and cremations. And we're going to start off with talking about time. How long does it take to do certain things? When someone passes, you only have a short window to get things set up, prepared, and done. In 2020, B Brothers, in an article on simplycremations.com, said that it will take roughly an hour to 2.5 hours to cremate a body, start to finish. Now, I've done a little bit of extra math with that, having done lots of cremating. Simply Cremations makes our retort, and according to them and my math, it's 85 pounds an hour. Depending upon how big you are or how small you are, will determine how long it's going to take. The bigger the person, the longer the time. When discussing traditional funerals, you're going to need time for the embalming process, picking out your caskets, what would you like to wear, the time, the services, vaults, plots. A lot of time is invested in what does the person want, or what does the family want the person to have. Having talked a little bit about time, let's get into everybody's wheelhouse. Cost. At the end of the day, what's it gonna cost? Did a little research with funeral arrangements guide.com, and in 2012 they said the average funeral, traditional, will cost somewhere between $5,000, $550. Every 10 years, ask any funeral director, that cost of a funeral doubles. I would say that it hasn't quite doubled in the last 10 years, but that depends on what you're using. If you go and get a $10,000 casket and a $8,000 vault, boom, you haven't even done services yet. It can be done. However, with the pandemic and everything slowing way down as far as meeting and having services and things have become a little bit more stagnant on cost. It hasn't risen as fast as it had previously. I did check with many of the funeral homes in the Rochester and surrounding areas, utilizing their GPLs, their general price list. A direct cremation is going to run you somewhere between $2,995 to $8,000. Now, that will also depend. What urn would you like? Are you going to have any memorial services? Cost of both the sky's the limit. I mean, look at Michael Jackson. He had like a $50,000 casket. You can spend money if you want, but you don't have to. I mean, it can be done relatively cheap. However, with that said, plan what you want. This is what Dad wanted. And then come back and discuss cost. It doesn't have to be, well, we're just going to cremate him because, it's cheaper. That shouldn't be the first question. So, we got time. We have cost. Let's talk a little bit about planning. Some people will say, God, to plan a funeral? I mean, that's kind of morbid, right? Well, is it, or is it kind of neat? I get to plan my final wishes. This is what I would like. I want to be in a black suit. I want to have a baseball cap, Minnesota Twins, turn just a little bit to the side, and I want my glasses on in a gray casket with white lining. Why couldn't I? If that's what, there's my final wishes. That's what I'd like. I go to the funeral home and I tell them, hey, when I pass, this is what I would like. And you can even go as far to begin to prepay. You can put your money into an account that will go in a bank that is specifically set for funeral cost. So you come in, or your family comes in and says, you know, hey, it's been a rough one, so-and-so passed, could you pull his file? They pull the file out, we already know what you want, what we're gonna do, and there's already money there. And some people go way overboard that have the means and put in piles of money. So even when all the services are all said and done, the family even gets some money back. It takes away that problem of, Dad died, and now I have to come up with the cost. And it shouldn't be that way. It can actually be, as odd as it is to say, kind of fun to plan your own funeral. So, we've got time. We've got the cost. We've got planning. I think that everybody should at least take a look at a funeral. At the end of the day, we're all going to end up there. Some of it's going to be decided by family. Some of it's going to be decided by your location, even religion. But death, dying, nobody wants to talk about it. But remember, at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, none of us are getting out alive.